Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Daybreak at 6.
We're following breaking news in University City. A busy intersection is blocked after a driver hit a bicyclist. We're talking to investigators on scene, and we'll have an alternate route just ahead.
Plus, a school bus driver accused of threatening to shoot up a school, even accused of naming certain staff members and mentioning immigrants.
Who do you have driving these buses?
The outrage from parents and the reason the suspect is actually charged twice. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm John Paul.
And I'm Blaine Tolleson. It is 6 o'clock and we want to get right over to meteorologist Keith Monday. He's in Severe Weather Center 9 tracking some chilly temperatures this morning, Keith.
Yeah, we had cold mornings all through the weekend. It continues out there today. We did come up a little bit in the last hour. We're still 41 in Charlotte. The wind came up slightly, and as that process unfolds, it does tend to warm up the atmosphere, but it's still going to fall in the 30s before the morning is done. Upper 20s from Hickory, Salisbury, Statesville, Albemarle, Morganton, and up into Boone. There are many cold spots out there that are below freezing this morning. Dress appropriately heading out the door. It's quite chilly. Lots of sunshine that will be out there here in the next hour, and temps rebound to the mid-40s by 9 o'clock. We still get around 60 this afternoon. All dry and pleasant today, but tomorrow the rain chance already starts to build in. We'll talk about the timing for its arrival here in the next 10 minutes. Coming up here to 6 o'clock, let's get back out to the breaking traffic news with Mark.
Yeah, I just got a big update from CMPD of the breaking news we're following in University City this morning. You're taking a live look at a police investigation after a bicyclist was struck earlier this morning. It's sent to CMC Maine with life-threatening injuries. Right now, the inbound or southbound lanes of Tryon blocked at W.T. Harris. There is a detour in place. They're making you turn right onto W.T. Harris, heading west, and then taking 85. Now, we just learned that the westbound lanes trying to access North Tryon are also closed. So you're going to have to take Harris over to University City, back to North Tryon as the alternate route. You can avoid it altogether and do a little cut through using J.W. Clay to McCullough back towards North Tryon, and that way you won't have to take that detour. The other issue that we've been monitoring is off towards the northwest near Uptown, where we did have an accident on the Brookshire near 85. It had the right lane blocked in each direction, with the heaviest delays that we're seeing right now is on the outbound side. If you're heading up through the area and you want to use Ross's Ferry as that alternate.
We're following breaking news in northwest Charlotte, where police are investigating a deadly crash on Brookshire Boulevard. And this is a look at that scene earlier at Hovis Road. You can see how badly damaged the car is. Police say the driver, Calvin Smart III, was driving outbound when he crossed into oncoming lanes, went down an embankment, and hit a concrete barrier. Smart was thrown from the car and died. Alcohol is believed to be a factor. Officers, they had to shut down Brookshire Boulevard during the investigation, and it has since reopened. This school bus driver will face a judge today, and listen to this, accused of posting a Facebook thread about shooting up Porter Ridge Middle School.
Eyewitness News reporter Mark Barber is live for us there now as parents are asking how someone they trusted with their kids could be accused of something like this, Mark.
Some parents are really struggling to understand this, John. That school bus driver who is accused of writing that threat was hired to start working as a bus driver here at Porter Ridge Middle School at the beginning of the year. So for the past 2 months, she's been trusted with taking care of dozens of students here. Take a look now at this Facebook post that led to the driver's arrest. The threat disparagingly mentions several staff members at Porter Ridge Middle by name, as well as immigrant students. The post also references President Trump and ends by saying, quote, "I'm going to shoot up the school to help him out." After worried parents saw the post last week, some kept their children home from school. Those parents were stunned when authorities said they discovered this woman, LaShawna Beecham, the bus driver who drove their kids to school, wrote that alarming post. Investigators say that she made that threat using a fake Facebook account.
It just blew our mind. What if my kids were on the bus and she got angry? And
now Beecham is expected to appear in court for the first time today, where she will face 2 felony charges. 2 charges because investigators say she posted that threat twice on Facebook. Live in Indian Trail, Mark Barber, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Channel 9 told you about threats against several other schools last week, too. In some of these cases, parents kept hundreds of students home from school as a safety precaution. CMS says it was working with the FBI to investigate the threats. Each school does 2 unannounced lockdown drills each year. Some are also starting to do active shooter training. The district also ordered principals to update their school safety plans. Iredell Statesville school leaders called a special meeting tonight to talk about school safety plans. The meeting will be closed to the public since they'll be discussing security matters.
Hundreds of students are out of school again today because of the fire that caused all of this damage at Andrew Jackson Middle School in Lancaster County. Look, it's still a mess in there. You can see the floors and walls charred. An electrical fire started in the janitor's closet last week. Inspectors want to make sure the electrical system is safe before students come back. And even an environmental health team will inspect the building. And starting tomorrow, students will be sent to different schools until they can return to Andrew Jackson. 6th graders will report to Heath Springs Elementary, 7th graders to Kershaw Elementary, and 8th grade will be held next door at Andrew Jackson High School.
Today, the man charged in a shootout on the campus of UNC Charlotte will make his first court appearance. Jalen Code is charged with possession of a stolen firearm, assault with a deadly weapon, and discharging a firearm on educational property. He's also charged with hit and run. Police say this all started when Code hit another car at the Waffle House on Stetson Drive and took off. Shots were fired after the two cars left the restaurant parking lot. The victim, whose car was hit, stopped at lot 27 on Alumni Way to call police. Now, no one was hit, and most of the students were actually gone on spring break when this happened. The CIAA tournament is now over. Channel 9 asked police if they had any issues with unsanctioned events over the weekend. They did say that officers seized 13 guns at the epicenter, where many bars were hosting after parties. Police arrested 5 people early yesterday morning. They say one of the guns was stolen out of Memphis, Tennessee. The suspects face weapons and drug charges.
A push to establish a national holiday in honor of the late Reverend Billy Graham is getting closer to its goal of 75,000 signatures. We've been keeping an eye on this petition at change.org, and this is a live picture here of the petition. You can see it's over 60,000 so far. The petition says, Mr. Graham preached the gospel to more people in live audiences than anyone else in history. Nearly 215 million people in more than 185 countries and territories. Reverend Graham was laid to rest Friday beside his wife Ruth on the grounds of the library that bears his name. Thousands came to pay their final respects, including President Trump and the First Lady and dignitaries from around the world. All 5 of the Reverend's children shared memories about their father at the emotional service there. Now, you can visit Reverend Graham's gravesite starting on Wednesday. The library is closed today and tomorrow to give workers and volunteers time to rest after what's been a very busy 10 days in the public viewing and the funeral that was held there.
Tonight, Charlotte City Council will vote on a list of issues that they want to advocate for on the state and the federal level. One of their top priorities is money for infrastructure improvements and upgrades to Charlotte Douglas. They also want the state's help fixing the affordable housing crisis, and they want Congress to come up with a solution for immigration reform. Well, today marks the original deadline President Trump gave Congress to come up with a plan to replace DACA.
Yeah, but lawmakers are now waiting for court orders on the issue. Many dreamers are left waiting for answers.
President Trump in January saying he was sure a bipartisan agreement on DACA was close.
I have a lot of confidence in the people in this room that you're going to come out with something really good.
But the March 5th deadline is here, and there's still nothing set in stone, and that's causing concerns for DACA recipients.
I have no social assistance. I'm paying out of my own pocket. I have an occupation as a sign language interpreter. I pay taxes. From the day I started working to, as we speak, present day, I've been giving back.
Court decisions have forced the White House to keep renewing DACA permits until further notice. A Senate attempt to pass a bipartisan legislation on immigration failed, and since then, Congress has backed off the issue. Over the weekend, a number of DACA rallies from Washington, D.C. to Washington State.
We need to work on immigration. I'm not a great expert, but I think there's a better way to do it than what we're doing now, and no one should live in fear.
The ACLU has a new 6-figure campaign focused on keeping DACA front and center, including a YouTube video, organized protest, and targeted messaging. But in the meantime, dreamers can just hope and pray for some sort of resolution.
Whether it be immigration or what stance you have, have some sympathy towards children who were brought here. That's all I ask. This is all we know.
DACA advocates say many recipients may find themselves in some sort of limbo where renewal applications may not be completed before present protections expire. But White House officials have said deporting dreamers will not be a priority. Over the weekend, dozens of people gathered in uptown Charlotte at Marshall Park for an immigration rally. They demanded state leaders help protect young immigrants. They also pushed for an end to the 287G program, which allows deputies to question undocumented immigrants who are booked into the Mecklenburg County Jail and turn them over to ICE custody.
A new report attributes the immigration controversy for America's using less gasoline in 2017. Bloomberg said that undocumented immigrants drove less after President Trump took office, amid fears that immigration officers would arrest them. The report was the first drop in gasoline use in 5 years. It was a small one, though, at only 6/10,000ths of a drop. The report also said demand dropped because of higher gas prices. It was a big night on the red carpet for the 90th Academy Awards. The Oscars aired right here on Channel 9, but if you couldn't stay awake for the big show, we've got you covered. Frances McDormand won Best Actress for her role in the 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which was shot in North Carolina. She used her speech to recognize other females in Hollywood.
If I may be so honored to have all the female nominees in every category stand with me in this room tonight. Come on!
The other big winners of the night included Gary Oldman winning Best Actor for Darkest Hour and The Shape of Water winning Best Picture. Jordan Peele made history by becoming the first black writer to win the Best Original Screenplay Oscar for Get Out. You can see a slideshow and a full list of all the winners. It's all posted at WSOCTV.com. But as we are waking up this morning, it is cold out
definitely
there.
want a thick jacket when you get out there. Meteorologist Keith Monday has the latest, and he's checking the radar. See, is it pretty clear out there, Keith?
Well, quiet and clear today. We'll enjoy a lot more sunshine again, but high clouds are already streaming into the area. We'll pick up more of those through the day, and here's the rain. But this is a slow mover. It's a system that's actually in the upper Midwest, moving kind of northeast. So it's a slow moving system, which means it's going to take another day before it gets here. But into tomorrow, rain chances are going to build in. We may already see some rain by around this time tomorrow morning. We'll show you that timing on the Futurecast data coming up here in the next 10 minutes. Now let's get you an update here on the breaking traffic news that Mark's got an update with. Mark.
Yeah, inbound North Tryon still blocked this morning at the intersection of W.T. Harris after a cyclist was hit earlier this morning, about 10 minutes after 5. You can see you've got the cones out right now. Also, police are on the scene warning folks that you have to turn right onto westbound W.T. Harris over to 85 as that detour. Now, we know that cyclist was taken with life-threatening injuries to CMC Maine this morning. So as we get further details and updates on the condition of that patient, we'll let you know. So here's what it looks like. Inbound North Tryon, you have to take Harris over to 85 as the detour. Westbound Harris is also blocked. You can't get through to North Tryon. So you're going to have to take University City Boulevard over to 29. Or you can get around it by taking J.W. Clay over to McCullough Drive back towards 29, and you'll get around that scene altogether. Still clearing that accident. Outbound right lane is blocked on Brookshire just before 85 near Nelson Avenue. That's what's causing these minor to moderate delays. You can jump on Rosless Ferry as the alternate.